Hi, this review is to review how to take a Photoshop graphic that you've prepared and convert it so it will work with the TEPS program. In this case, after you're done with this, you should be able to drop it into a TEPS graphics folder and then build your graphic or your template in TEPS with a combination of either foreground backgrounds or foreground only if you're just making a simple magazine cover. In this case, I'm showing you a picture of a blue frame that I've created on a transparent layer, so I can see where the picture is going to go, and everything that's transparent is going to be the area that I'm going to want the photo to drop in. I've designed this one for a non-green screen because this is a single layer, so the picture will just go everywhere the transparency area would be. In this case, all we're going to need to do is put an alpha channel in here, and then we're done. So at this point, all I've got to do is go to Select, click Load Selection. I'm going to load my transparent area, but I'm going to do the invert of that. Click OK. And next I'm going to click on my Channel tab, and at the bottom right hand corner of my palette here I'm going to click on the little round circle that says Save Selection as Channel. Now I've created an alpha channel in the format that I need for TEPS. If I look at the alpha channel, you'll see everything that's highlighted in kind of pink is going to be where the picture will not see through, and everything inside in the transparent area is where the picture will see through. So the next step, I'll go ahead and turn that off. The next step I want to do is just go ahead and save this as a pict file. Now, we like to save this always with a fill of black, assuming that sometimes you might have some graphics or overlays that have a drop shadow that would drop into black. So what I'm going to do this simply is go over to my toolbar and make sure my palette, background palette, is set to black. Then go to the top where it says Layer and click New and select Background from Layer. That will fill all my background area, my transparent area, with black. Since I've got my alpha channel, TEPS will really not look at the black area, but just look at the alpha channel to know where it's going to sneak through. So now that we're done, I simply go to File, I click Save As. I'm going to change this format now to a pict file. That's extremely important. It can't be anything else but that. Make sure alpha channel is checked. Give it a name. In this case, I'll keep it blueframe.pct. I'm going to take this and put it in my TEPS OSX folder, my TEPS graphics folder, and I've created a folder, or let's create a folder called Overlay for Training. So I'm going to create this folder. That will be my source where I'm going to drop my pictures, my graphics for TEPS. I'll click Save. This is also important. 32 bits must be selected with no compression because alpha channels will not be saved at 16-bit mode. Click OK. I'm done with this. This is what you would do to make a simple overlay magazine cover with no green screen features. If I want to make a green screen, of course, I'd want a foreground and probably a background. So in this case, to create an overlay for a foreground, I'm going to create a magazine cover with a background. So I've created one in advance, so let's go load that up. Okay, now in this mode, you're going to see into the layers, I've got quite a few layers going on here. The bottom layer, which will be my background, is going to be my football field. In between that, I've got a magazine cover header that I want to be as the background portion. That will really stay then with my background field. But my foreground, I'm going to put my picture. I just put a placeholder here to remind me where I'm going to want to put that picture. And then I have an upper layer. That's going to be my overlay. That's going to be called Next MVP. So in this case, to create the overlay, I've got to first turn everything below my photo off. Now I'm going to do the same steps I had done before. I'm going to go to Select, make sure the upper layer is selected. If there are more than one upper layer, I would go over here and I would select Merge Visible if there's anything else visible with this as my upper layer. Then I would go to Select, I would click Load Selection, make sure I'm selecting my transparency, click Invert, click OK. As before, click Channels, come down and click Saved Selection as a channel, and lo and behold, I now have my alpha channel made. That's the only portion that will be see-through in the overlay portion of this particular graphic. Now that I'm done with this, I click back to Layers. Now I can turn my bottom two layers on. I'm going to leave them with this graphic just as before. The alpha channel is what we're really looking at, so these layers won't affect the picture but will act as a background for anything that bleeds through. So now I'm just going to simply go to File, click Save As. I'm going to select the TEPS OSX folder, go to the graphics folder, the folder that I clicked overlay for training, and I'm going to change this format to picked. Again, if it's an overlay or a top channel, we've got to have it picked. Alpha channel is turned on. I'm going to call this illustrated sport, but I'm going to give the FG in there. It means nothing except as a reminder to me that FG or .pct means that's an overlay file that I'm going to use. Click Save. 32-bit, none. Now to make this simple for my background, I'm going to simply just resave this whole channel as a JPEG file. So that'll flatten everything for me. Go to File, click JPEG, go to the TEPS OSX folder, click Graphics, click my overlay for training. I'm going to give this file BG for background. And now it's a JPEG. Click Save. And I'm done. Now this entire picture will be my background, and my overlay will be who will be the next MVP. I will combine the two of these files that I have, my foreground and background, together in a TEPS template file, put them together, layer my image object box in between, and I will now have the same effect as I would do in Photoshop, having an overlay with the green screen seen through. Now one more little more interesting file I'm going to bring is something like this, what we created from a craps table from Las Vegas. In this case, I started with just a simple JPEG file, and I wanted to trim out everywhere I wanted. I'm going to want a person to stand in the middle between these two pretty girls. So in this case, I've already done that, so I'm going to just go ahead and load my channel that I have so I can use it without me wasting your time. So you're going to see where I'm going to knock out the area now with the marching ants. Before I do that, I'm going to duplicate this channel. Oops, sorry. So I'm going to come up here and select duplicate channel. That way this will be actually my background. So I'm going to turn off my background, highlight my foreground. Again, I'm going to make sure my marching ants are loaded because I already made it in advance. Now all I need to do is punch this out, so I'm going to hit delete. I'm going to knock that out to a transparency. When I turn the background channel on, you'll notice that it's exactly 1:1. So basically, since this is a green screen knockout, when I put these two foreground and background together, anywhere where there is not a person that we want a green screen, the background will replace that and fill it in. So the background acts as a fill. So now all I need to do is take this alpha channel and create an alpha channel from this. Now again, I already had one there, but I'm going to show you the steps again. I've loaded my transparency. I'm going to click Save as a alpha channel. And now again, you'll see everywhere where it's red will be opaque, and the marching ants inside will be where the picture is going to go. So I can turn that off, go back to my layers. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn my background back on. Go to File, click Save As. Make this a picked file because this is going to be my overlay first. I'm going to give it the FG in there so it will remind me that this is a foreground. Go put it in my TEPS graphics folder, my overlay training folder, craps FG, click Save, keep it 32-bit. And now all I'm going to do is take the same file again, click Save As. This will be my background file. Again, go to TEPS OSX, TEPS graphics folder, overlay training folder. I'm going to save this as JPEG. This will flatten all the images. I'm going to just call this BG for background. And lo and behold, I should be done. So hopefully this will help. Now from this point, you'd go up and create a template in TEPS, and you drag these two different graphics. The foreground would be the overlay, then I'd put an image box, and I'd drop the background behind that. And sure enough, I'll be looking like I'm playing in a game of craps. Have a great day.